this edition of Open Court Head Coaches. Igor, what can you learn about rookie players, the guys you're just getting to know, that you couldn't scout beforehand, that you couldn't see on tape or hear in an interview once you have them inside your program, on your roster?
Well, having a young player on your team, I always use analogies like seeing a beautiful girl. You don't know anything about her until you start dating the girl. So this is just a chance for us as coaches just to really have a better feel for a player, and not just as a person, as who he is, you know, and how coachable he is, how open he is to get better, and his ability to play the game of the basketball. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to spend some time with young guys and to know what in the next couple months they have to work on to be ready for camp, because it's a completely different game.
What kinds of things can't you know until you spend the time?
You know, what kind of person they are. I think when you build an organization, building a culture in an organization, you have to know who these kids are. And like Mike said, there's some good kids that come in the league. You know, they don't really know what they're doing and who they want to become yet, but you have to teach them that. But having these young guys coming in now, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because now I'm older. You know, Colin Sexton is 19, 20 years old. I'm 41. So now, you know, I can talk to those guys about how we played in the old days and what we did, you know. But I can't talk to Richard Jefferson and Kyle Korver and
you'll become much better with the young guys.
Yeah.
How good you are. Kyle knew you had the truth.
So it's different, but I'm excited about it. Some new challenges, but more hands-on now. I think I can get on the floor more and work with these guys and try to teach them more. And that's what I'm most excited about right now.
What are the qualities you're dying to find out about when a guy gets on your roster?
I think toughness, basketball IQ, just overall understanding of the game. And, you know, Ty's right. And, you know, if you have good veterans that can help these young guys along the way, that's very helpful. You know, we got Robin Lopez as a guy that's an unbelievable mentor to our young bigs. You got a guy in Justin Holiday that does a great job with our perimeter guys. Even looking back to a couple years ago when we had Rondo, he was unbelievable at taking those young guys and getting them extra work and showing them the right way to be a pro. You know, but just to look at, you know, their overall skill set, how they fit into a team setting, you know, what type of structure they have. You have to, you know, look at each guy and what they are. But, you know, it's fun to get them in there and start working with them and get your hands on them and seeing what you have. And, you know, again, with the young team, it's extra important to do that. And then, again, the veterans that can help those guys along the way.
Are there conversations you can have with a guy who's just into the roster that tell you something about him, or do you have to watch him work and watch him play?
You got to watch him. And, you know, I always think about, I played with a guy named Mario Ellie in San Antonio. And when a young guy was having a good practice, Mario would go, let's see you do it when the popcorn's popping. You know, see what you do when the lights are on. And that's what I'm looking for with these young guys is you know about their skill sets, you've watched tape, but like Donovan Mitchell's a great example, right? A lot of people passed on him. He's not, you know, that big. I think he's 6'3". Good prospect coming in. He's obviously got something that goes way beyond what you saw on tape.
Right.
He believes, and he's going to be a superstar. And I think that's what you're looking for, starting in Summer League, but then in camp, is does the guy really have that confidence that it takes to perform at this level?
Why can't folks find that always on tape, watching a college kid?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, first of all, you only see them for a season. You know, they're one and done, and they are in the NBA. But that's what our scouts do. You know, our scouts and our GMs, you know, they are watching these kids from, you know, when they're in middle school, high school, AAU, basketball. You know, when we do get them, you're a mentor. You know, you're kind of a father figure to those kids. You spend time with them. You have lunch with them. And you try to learn how to reach them. You know, so it does take time. And they're so young. Most of our guys coming into the league at 19, 20 now.
Mike, I can't imagine a player not enjoying playing for you.
Oh, there's been a bunch of them.
But
That's, yeah.
how often do you find that you just can't connect with a guy?
Well-
It just doesn't exist. And what do you do?
Well, you just keep trying, and then go to the general manager and try to move him
Trade
along.
that guy.
Try to let one of these other guys have it. Say good luck. It's you just try to do the best you can do, and you're not going to connect with everybody, and you can't. And not everybody's going to like the way you approach them, and you are who you are. And if you are who you are, some people don't like you who you are. So I just take it. As you get older, you just keep trying, but you don't take it personally. And it just didn't work out. Wasn't a good fit. And also it could be the time that you have them. It could be different later on. You see them later on. They're different. You're different. Situation's different. So you just keep an open mind, keep working.
Fred, how often do you run into that situation where you're just not clicking with a player?
Well, it happens. It happens with everybody. It's I think Mike said it best. You just have to continue to try to build a relationship. You have to find out, how you get to a guy, how you can find a way to build a relationship. It takes a lot of one-on-one meetings. You really do. You bring a guy into your office after a game. If you have a disagreement, all right, let's talk about this. How do we build from this? How do we move on and get past it, for the betterment of the team? So, it is. It's so important what we do more than the X's and O's is finding a way to get our guys to go out there and perform at their highest level. And it is different for certain guys than it is others. I mean, you'd like to say you treat all 15 of your players the exact same way, but that's, the reality is that's not true. And, again, it just takes a lot of time to build it up to find out what makes players tick.
I think most of our problems come in when guys don't play. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest adjustment. And the second thing is when guys are not allowed to play the way they want to play. But maybe what you want to do doesn't fit the system that we're trying to play, and it's tough. All the kids want to be successful. They all want to, be that guy or that person. And sometimes, when I came in the league, it was great to be a great role player. And my motto is just be a star in your role. Whatever your role is, to help win, for the team to win. And a lot of guys can't buy into that. So it's tough, but, you got to continue to just keep working with them. And when they finally get it, you're like, oh, they got it. And that's a gratifying part of coaching, is when you see someone that it was tough at first, it was rocky, but then they finally got it, they matured, and they understand what their role is and what you need them to do, and they're willing to do that to win. And then, it all becomes worth it.
Dealing with the media, and there are a lot of us, when we come back on Open Court.
The hard thing is there's so many rumors that get thrown out there and the lack of accountability for the stories that are false. But, it's part of the job. It's a part of the pressure that we deal with.
Back on Open Court, head coaches here from Las Vegas. We touched on part of your responsibility as a head coach is dealing with the media on a regular basis. But there's a lot of it, and there's more media than ever. National, international, traditional media, non-traditional media, digital, social media, et cetera. What to you crosses a line in terms of fair versus unfair questions?
I went from Ames, Iowa, where there was two people there, the Des Moines Register and the Ames Tribune. And you go into Chicago, and you got 30 people there every day with all the different news stations and all the radio people. And then you got the different newspapers and the columnists. And now you got the bloggers. And, the hard thing is there's so many rumors that get thrown out there, and the lack of accountability for the stories that are false. That's hard. It's hard to deal with that a lot of times. But it is what it is. It's the era that we live in. Social media, in my opinion, is going to be the end of all of us eventually. It's just, there's so much negativity out there that you have to deal with. But, it's part of the job. It's a part of the pressure that we deal with. As far as what's fair, what's not fair, I don't think you worry about that. You just try to do the best job you can as far as getting the message that you want out there.
You've been really outspoken on a lot of topics, obviously. What in your mind is inbounds, what's out of bounds in terms of a question to an NBA head coach?
That's a hard question to answer. I mean, I think, Fred said it. You're going to get a ton of questions. People are going to try to set you up. The number of times you meet with the media, especially on a playoff game like shoot around before the game, after the game. So they're firing everything at you. You know, they're going to ask you a trick question, and they're going to set you up, and you have to answer it diplomatically, but maybe get your point across and try to give them enough to feed the beast, but maybe not too much that's going to expose your team. And you're always, it feels like you're kind of always walking a fine line with that.
Over the line is when they try to tell you what you should have done, you know, and if that's not my philosophy, that's not what I believe in, you shouldn't tell, you know, the coach what he should have done. It's already tough on us as it is, and, you know, when that happens, you know, it's tough, but just dealing with the media, like Steve said before, you know, a playoff game, you got, you know, after shoot around, you got ESPN radio, then you get to the arena, you got to sit down with the ESPN crew, then you got Fox Sports, then you have the podium, then you come back, you got an interview between the first or the third quarter, then you got the post game. I mean, it's just like 7 times a day, and, you know, you have to be on, no matter if it's a tough game, tough loss, you know, you have to be, you know, ready for that media. And, you know, Doc Rivers taught me that a long time ago. You know, I used to go watch his press conferences, you know, when I was assistant coach, and, like, how could you just handle that question so easy? Like, it's a tough question, tough situation, tough circumstances, but he was always great, and he always had a way around it, you know, and to answer the question, but always avoiding the question, if you understand what I'm saying.
For the record, I've had lots of people avoid my questions over the years. I'm pretty used to it. Igor, are you ready for all that?
Well, we'll see, but I don't have a choice. I think it's a part of the package, right?
You don't have a choice.
You know, definitely, I think you have to be respectful. We understand how media is important, and it's a bridge between consumers, the fans. We play, and we enjoy doing what we love and what we have a passion for, and it's all about the fans. Like Coach Mike was talking about, you have to be yourself and show them respect, and you shouldn't be afraid to make decision. Every decision, take the risk. When it comes to the starting lineup rotations, why you didn't do it something or you did, I think you shouldn't be scared to coach and make decision for your team. And then if you win the game, you're right, and if you lose, you definitely were wrong. So that's it's a very simple.
These are obviously great jobs. There are only 30 of them in the world, but there's a lot to it. What grinds on you over the course of the 82 and then the playoffs? Not to mention the preseason.
I mean, I enjoy it. You know, we take it one day at a time, one game at a time, and when you have a good group such as I did this year, it was fun. You know, it was really fun to come in and go to work, and the season seemed like it went by fast. You know, our guys came. It did.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It just seemed like it went by, you know, fast. I enjoyed coming in and working with our guys, and it really wasn't much of a grind. But this is probably one of many years that I've had a season like this.
Yeah. I hear some disagreement, some dissent over here.
I wasn't disagreement. I was laughing. Because, you know, I've had those years. I've had those years. You know, I've had different years where challenges come up and, you know, pressure is different for different people because your expectations are higher or lower. I mean, we have great coaches. Some coaches win 28 games and do a great job. Well, because they should have won 24, you know, and they owe, but, you know, everybody else, as soon as you sign somebody pretty good, they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe not.
You kind of chuckled at Nate saying the season flew by. What do you think you've learned in your still relatively short head coaching career about managing the season, especially the length of season you've had?
I don't know. Still trying to figure that out. You know, I've been coaching for 2.5 years, but it feels like it's been 10. You know, I swear, I promise. And, you know, going to the finals 4 years straight, you know, playing against Steve, and it's a tough grind. I mean, for me, it is. I mean, for me, it was. You know, it was a tough grind, you know, every year. Just, you know, our team had a lot of scrutiny, and, you know, we have the best player in the world with LeBron. You know, if he wears a different shoestring in his shoe, it's a story. Or, you know, if he walks by the bench and didn't see you, you have your hand out, it's a story. So it's just like, you know, from week to week, you never know what you're going to get. And that's the toughest part because I'm more of a shy, you know, guy. I like to be in the background, like the media attention, you know. So when you look look on TV and you see the Cavs on TV every single day, and it's about something. It's tough because I love the game of basketball so much, and you want to watch and you want to see what everyone's doing. But then again, like Igor said, you can't read it, you can't look at it. You just got to kind of stay in your place and stay in your lane, and that's probably been the most difficult part.
Here's wishing you a season that flies by like Nate's did.
I hope so.
Well, I appreciate your attention in this setting, at least. Answering all these
What'd you
questions.
say? I was ignoring you. for a second.
Guys, this was fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Igor, Mike, Steve, Ty, Nate, Fred, thanks one and all.
Thank you very much.
That'll do it for Open Court Coaches from Las Vegas.